When multiplying and dividing by 10, 100 and 1000, we sometimes start by using a place value grid to help. We know that when we multiply, our numbers get bigger, so our numbers will move further up the place value grid to the left. When dividing, our numbers get smaller, therefore they will move to the right of the place value grid. We know how many places to move our numbers by looking at the number of zeros on 10, 100 and 1000. To multiply or divide by 10, we move the numbers one place to make them 10 times bigger or 10 times smaller. To multiply and divide by 100, we move the numbers two places to make them 100 times bigger or 100 times smaller. And finally, to multiply or divide by 1000, we move the numbers three places to make them 1000 times bigger or 1000 times smaller. Let's have a look at an example question using our place value grid. This question says 6.2 times 1000. 6.2. We are multiplying the number, therefore it is getting bigger, and we need to move the numbers to the left. We are multiplying by 1000, so we need to move the numbers three places. 1, 2, 3. My 2 is now in the hundreds column. 1, 2, 3. My 6 is now in the thousands column. I have no tens and no ones, so I add zeros to act as placeholders. Here I can see my answer is 6,200. Let's take a look at question number 2. This says 132 divided by 10. As we are now dividing, our numbers will move to the right to make them smaller. We're dividing by 10, which means they need to move one place. I'll start by writing 132 in the correct columns, using the hundreds, tens and ones. Now I will divide by 10 by moving the numbers one place to make them 10 times smaller. The 1 is now in the tens column, the 3 is now in the ones column, and the 2 is now in the tenths column, making my answer 13.2. When children become confident with moving the numbers left and right and understanding that the numbers stick together and therefore remain in the same order, we remove the place value grid to allow them to have a go without it. Here I'm multiplying 0.63 by 100. I know that I need to move the numbers to the left as we're multiplying by two places as we're multiplying by 100. So I look at where my numbers will end up. 3 will move 1, 2. My 3 will be in the ones column, which means my 6 will end up in the tens column, giving me an answer of 63. For this question, 1,270 multiplied by 10. Again, we're multiplying, so we're moving to the left. By 10, so we're moving one place. I think which columns my numbers will end up in. They will all shift across, so my thousands column will go to my tens of thousands. My 2 will go to my thousands column. My 7 will go to my hundreds column. My 0 will go to my tens column. And I have no ones, therefore I put a placeholder, giving me the answer 12,700. Finally, we're dividing by 100. This means we're making the number 100 times smaller and therefore moving the numbers two places to the right. Sometimes children struggle with this as it's going into the decimals, and they just need to remember the columns that come after the decimal point. In this case, the 6 is moving to the ones, and then the tenths column, remembering that there will be a decimal point after the ones column. And the 2 will move to the tenths and then the hundredths column. Because we have no ones and this is a decimal answer, we need to add a placeholder, and we get the answer 0.62.